Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to look at the community case. I think it was yesterday and the day before. Grayson did another portal case and I did a video of the first and the second one already, so I thought I can do this one as well. I did decent, I got all levels out, but my level 7, I struggled there because I made a stupid mistake, which I will talk about when we get there. But it's a nice case and you have to know, well, maybe you don't have, but the easiest thing is to know some Power Query. So I think let's just start going into it. So I have my folder here which contains all the files and the structure is always the same. You have the file name, which is an address, and when I open one, you have a cell in A1 which contains another address, and you have the sheet name, which is also one. So you need to get all this out for 400 files, and to do that I will just get, well, the path, and then let's see, from file from, well, that was not what I wanted. It's not a SharePoint in my case, so I just can do from file from folder. And when I enter that, I get a preview, and technically I can combine it, but I usually just do it manually because I want to do it a little bit differently. So I only need those two. Remove other columns. I want to add another column. So to get the content, which is in binary, to an actually workable version, I can use Excel workbook function, and it only has the content like that. So I can get that. When I now check, I get a table, and the table contains the object. So in this case, it contains the sheet. And now I want, from this, I want the name and data. I don't need it to have a prefix. So now this is a sheet name, and here I have the data. So I can again just click here and do it like that. And now I have the, well, you can transform, or you can add another column. In this case, I can transform it because I don't need it. Text before the limiter, dot should be fine. I have it. So this is the file name, right? So file name, this is the sheet name, maybe, and this is a cell. So I don't need the other one. So either you remove columns, or you can also remove other columns. So it doesn't matter, right? In which way, you just need to do it in the right way. So I want to call it T, so that my table is directly called T, and when I close and load, I get it like that. It takes a moment because it's still 400 files, right? And now I have it as a T, but I can also just again Control A, Control Shift F3, top row to get the names. I also imported my lambdas, and now I think we can start. So what is the column number? In this case, all of them. Um, well, if you don't want to use volatile function, you can check. There's always only one letter, so technically you can use it with code from the left one, or you just have a lambda, or you use indirect, so it doesn't matter, right? So now what is contained? So we have, right, we have the file name, which is always our start for now. We have the sheet name and we have the cell. And in question 2, what is contained in the following cell from the file? So if I, whoops, it's English, so xlookup that in file name from cell. That's it. Now the same thing, but more than one step, right? So I'm just going to take it. And if you want to do something more than once, I usually go reduce, right? So reduce that over sequence that lambda I C. I don't need the C, which doesn't matter. I can just put I here. And now I did all my steps. So all the levels quite easily. Now from a cell you start, and what is the minimum number of turns? So when you think about it, reduce always gives you the last one, but in this case, whoops, I don't want the last one. So let's just say 10 maybe, so we can see it. I can use scan and I get all of them, right? I have my start, and after one step I'm in F7 and so on. Now I can see 85, so let's just say we X-match our target in that known, and now we just do a huge sequence and we are good. What is sheet name in the file? In the file named after the following. So again, it's just an XLOOKUP. Well, I don't think we have to do it next to it. So XLOOKUP all of that in file name from sheet name. Also quite easy. When I did it live, I actually had to adjust my query because I only took out the file and the cell pretty much, but doesn't matter, or it's not difficult because, as you saw, well, you can just do it. Now we actually go to hard level because it's a little bit different now. Congratulations, you have now unlocked the ability to portal from one island. The file name represents the current, while sheet name is the file. Okay, so using portal. Okay, so I can either use the cell or the portal. Now I have to go through it and check which makes sense. So I start with one step and sequence, let's just say 10. So what I usually do in stuff like that, I stack my taken steps to the next one, if that makes sense. So let's just say right, for now. Now I want to stack the next one, and this makes sense because then if you stack them, you can compare if you already were there. Because if I'm in C3 now and I would get there in, let's say, 20 steps again, it will be the same address, so it would repeat. So it would make sense to actually not go there. But let's just check. So now I have one but what happens if I now, well, let's just go to this. Oops, if I filter for, well, I don't need to filter. So I can go from any address to two different targets. And for that, if I now make one step, I will have two targets. So an XLOOKUP, which returns or is supposed to return two values, doesn't work, right? If I have XLOOKUP, I can do something like file name, and then I can technically, I don't know if that works now, but I can technically do a sheet name to a cell. Yes, it works, right? But if I would have now two, which I get after one step, it doesn't. So for that, I want to choose rows, right? So let's just say choose rows, and I want, well, I'm just gonna do it like that, right? And X match, not X match my I now in this, right? So when we do that, I oh, okay. I thought it should, wait, what am I missing? Oh, because I do 10, I wanted one for now. Oops, sorry. So yes, of course, now I get both of them, right? And that is now my starting point for the next one, pretty much. So that works. I have it here as a table reference, but they have the same dimensions as this, so that is fine. And technically what I now can do, I can just call. I can hstack I with that, right? Now I have after one step, and now the only issue is I can't X match everything here. I have to take well, the last one, so -1, that was difficult. And now let's just see what happens. If I do two steps here, I can go to that, right? And I can continue. Let's just make 10, let's make maybe 100 even. There it gets actually quite slow, right? Maybe I actually broke it now. Well, let's just stay at 10. But the thing is, you can see I have a lot of them. What I usually like to do is I don't have to take them again. So if I, let's just say, most of, which is just, you can see I have a lot of duplicates, which, well, whenever I start somewhere, they have the same row. So usually I don't do it like that directly. I filter them. So what I have is, I take all of them, right? So those are my candidates. Let's just do that to make it a little bit more performant, I guess. So let A, whatever, those are my well, let's make it proper. Can for candidates. And now what I can say, if is an A X match can into call I2, right? If that is an error, then I want can, and I want to do it like that. And now I can say one step, two steps, three steps, four steps, and so on. 10 steps. Apparently, I'm already there. I apparently already have them all. I don't know, but let's just see if that works. Maybe if I made a mistake there. But now I want to check if any of them is pretty much my thingy. So what I want to do is I can take it here, right? I have it now, and now I can say if is number at I, then I else do all of that. And now I can say if or can equals that, then I want C else I want that. So there we go. Now I can probably do a large sequence, yeah, and we can check if that works. Yeah, so you can see I did not have to do this pretty much because I would have had my escape before, but as you saw it got really, really slow with 100 steps because I keep doing loops, and I don't want loops. That's why I can use the trick with is an AX match of all my candidates and everything I already was, and only takes once I was not in, so that's why it's an A. Then I stack and that's it. So that is how you can do level 6 quite easily. So level 7 is a little bit different. You can use a similar approach. You can do it in a completely different way. I will show both. The one way is credit completely to Dim. He told me how he thought about it afterwards. So he told me how it's also possible. I tried it and well, of course it worked when he told me that, but let's just start again. So you can see well, let's actually read. So I'm not allowed to use portals more than once. So I can use it only once. I don't have to use it, but technically now you're supposed to do the step. Well, you go the shortest way with only one maximum of one portal. Let's just say it like that. So what I want to do is I want to reduce again sequence 1. So what I can still do, I want to pretty much work on a row by row basis. Why do I want that? Because what I want is I want to have the steps right. So if I go here and do 4, if I check N11, of course I know that I'm coming from when I'm at C4 or O12, I'm always coming from N11, but here you don't know that anymore. So it gets more and more difficult, or at least like that, it's not really possible to get your path. So what I want to do is I want to work on a row by row basis so that I can actually get my path. So let's just again sequence 1 lambda IC, and now I want to do a by row, right? Let's just, did I not? Okay, I was wondering why I did not get help. That always happens. Like if I have a line break afterwards, it does not help. So deleting the line break again works. But yeah, now I have I lambda W, and I want to do something here, right? So let's just say W for now. So first things first, I want to do the same as before, right? I want to choose call. I want to get my candidates. So I can just do that. So let's just say let candidates is choose rows, whatever, like that. So if I get out candidates, those both are my candidates. Like for me now, that is where I messed up yesterday. I have sheet name and cell, and sheet name is a portal, cell is not a portal. And I yesterday did it the wrong way around. So I said that the cell is a portal and the sheet name is not. That's why I took 20 minutes to actually solve it, because that was difficult to debug for me. But yeah, now I know the first one is always the portal, the second one is not, right? So what I want to do now is I want to actually, let's just do it, and I can concatenate it probably. Let's see. So yesterday I wrote portal there, but it doesn't matter. I just need to mark it somehow. Okay, again, wrong disk. Yeah, okay, that looks fine. So this would be the portal, right? And now what I want to do is I can concatenate it and to call it, right? So what I want to do is maybe I want to W, which is my start, and I want to do something like that with to call can, maybe. Let's see, right? So like that. So if I do 1, which is good, but now I have one thing, it does not really work for the next step, right? So if I go, I get nothing. Why do I not get anything? Because I do take, which does not work, right? Because take, I don't have arrays, I have a text. In the first part, it's just a starting address. So what I do is I need something different. So what I can do is I can say X match text after and I did a semicolon, right? So something like that. That doesn't work, but I can of course do something like that. That should work. I can do the last one, -1, and now still if I do one more step it still doesn't work because of this part, I think. Right, so let's see, I do text match, oh, and also because I say I, so now I get half of them. But this part, it is not correct, right? So there are different options. Probably for me the easiest one is if I just substitute out. So substitute a star with, that is an U, a star with nothing, something like that. And now if I do it, you can see what I'm getting at. But we have the condition only one portal. So pretty much what I can do is I can check how many portals are there. And if, well, more than one, I can filter them out. There are a lot of options. I can do it technically in a to call, but I find it easier to do it after what I think. So what I want to do is I want to somehow, well, let's just say, again, I'm still struggling with regex, but let's see if we can do it. I want a star, and if there's a star, I don't want it anymore, right? So if I have it, well, let's just say, and another, like, I want one star, that is so difficult for me, and I don't want another star like that. Right, so you can see now it gets true if I have more than one. So I have a literal star, anything, and I again do a look ahead with star. So then if I find another one from a star, I have two inside, right? So you can see where I have one, it's fine. Now to filter for that, I can do one minus, and that would be my filter, right? So now I have all my candidates. So I call it for between, for zwischen in German, and I want to filter where regex test like that. Okay. So now I could do a lot of steps, and you can see it's quite fast. And here, let's actually remove this one. This was just a test. You can see that I'm actually arriving at A15 here. And the portal is D15, which matches our answers. And now what I want to do is I technically only have to test if any of them contains H15 because I don't care about the portal, right? So this is, I don't know, can2, no, I don't know, it's whatever, out. It is not out, but it is out. So let's just say it like that. And now I can say if or regex test is H50, well, no, is out, and then technically I think I don't need it. You could do it, but I don't think I need boundaries here. So let's just say or, then I want C, else I want out, right? So you can see that, and now I again need my escape here. So if is number at I want to stay at I, otherwise I want to go further. And now I don't need a small sequence, so let's just do 100. And that is quite fast, and we are good. So that is one option. Before we go to the bonuses, I want to show the second option, which again, as I said, credit goes to them. You can think about anything like that. Yeah, like about you're solving a network and you have like connections, right? From A1, I can go to this one, right? And if I now go from this one, from this one, I can also go to this one, right? So what I want to do now is I can go this one. But here in my case now, I have to be careful because what I want to do now is I want to mark that as a portal again. So let's just do it like that maybe. And now I have to also be able to go from them pretty much, but they also always contain a portal, right? So XLOOKUP, maybe, I hope I'm doing it right. This one, wait, let's go here. So I'm just doing it like that. So this is my coming from, so XLOOKUP them in file names to, after I'm gone through a portal once, I never can go through again. So that's why now I have to go to cell. And now I think I'm also doing it like that. And the distance is always one step, right? So let's see if that works. Right now, what I want to test is I have those two, and let's just see. I have a lambda, which here credit goes to Bo. I have from this two. Start is this one. Target is this one. Let's see. No, but what also can be is that I have a star here. And there we go. Now technically I can combine both of them, right? So this is my arrow, whatever. So now I can say I have this, and I want to, let's just VStack. Doesn't work because that's an error. Okay, I didn't want to do it like that, but let's just say max if error 999, and well, if error is a different one, 999, right? And not max, of course, but min. Yeah, Mion, wrong. Min, like that. And now if I copy that here and I have, oh, how did I name that? Shit, I forgot how I named it. Well, interesting. R. I can't remember stuff for seconds. That's sad. But that is how it is. And now this and this and this and whoops and this. Right, and now I can just copy them like that. That takes a moment, but as you can see, it's the same. Also, if you don't have that lambda, you can pretty much do the same as we did here, right? With shoes rows, but let's just rewrite it. Practice makes perfect. So let's say I have this, right? And now again, I start reduce C, and now I know I want one step for now. Lambda I see, I want to H stack, and now I want to pretty much just take the steps I can do. So I want to H stack, and I want to filter where I can go to, right? To is number X match, and now where I can come from. And I want to do that with take I, so the ones which I did in the last step, something like that maybe. I have, well, I have 2 steps now. And now what we can just do is 11, for example. And you can see H15 here. So now I can just say if, no, let's do it inside. If, no, let's make it a little bit more complicated. So I like nested let here. So let can, because those are my candidates, right? If or can equals my target, then I want C, else I want can. So that is like that. You can see that doesn't work like that. So if or can, because I have this mark behind it, but what I can do is I can switch it. So regex test can to this one as a pattern. And now I have it there because now I'm still stacking. So what I want to do is I want to move the stacking inside. Here we go. My escape is again if is number at I, then I want C, else I want nothing. So that is working as well. So now I have to put T in front. I have to put T in front. I can copy that and we go, whoops, here, and we just change start and target. And this is all, well, okay, yeah, my sequence is not long enough, so let's just adjust that to 100. Oh, that is not working because I did not lock. Let's at least hope that that's the reason. No, apparently not. Because I wrote C on not I. Yeah, okay. Many mistakes were made, but yeah. So now I think, well, and I don't know, that equals that. Yeah. So we have now 3 ways. This one is the one I used when I did it live, which was probably the complicated one. This is quite easy if you have the notes, and if you have the notes, Without the lambda, it's also quite easy because you can just do the same as in the level above. So now let's continue with the bonuses. We've already taken some time. How many cell addresses move horizontally or vertically to their destination? It doesn't say either or, so technically each cell moves horizontally or vertically. I know diagonally, but they also move like that, right? So technically I did not understand it in the beginning what I was supposed to do, but I also didn't have the time to do it anyways. So I can just add well, some numbers. So what I want to do is, wait, I forgot. Whoops, sorry. How many cell addresses move horizontally or vertically to the cell value? Okay, so I can just do row co, which is just a lambda that gets row and column number, minus or equals row co of my cell, right? And I can do or, and I can do minus. Let's just say, can I do that? I have 60 in some here, so let's just say 60. For each pair of addresses in the file name and cell value, calculate the absolute. Okay, so here as well, for each pair, calculate absolute row difference and absolute column difference. It doesn't say that I have to add them, so I also did not think about that. But more or less now, what I do is I add them, right? No, I don't. I'm supposed to do the column difference like that, and then ABS sum. I would have thought from just reading it, it's ABS and then the max, but well, that's not what is the right answer on the platform, so we take this one. For each pair of addresses, calculate the absolute row difference and column difference. So it's the same just for the sheet name, right? So I can again do that, go here, and I can do that to sheet name, which is now 30. How many cell addresses destination immediately leads back to itself either through normal movement or cell movement? So here it's really just, well, on the platform it was wrong, like they had 21 there, but 6 is the right answer. Let's see how we get to 6. I do a step from A1 to A2, from A1 to those two, and now from those two, if I go directly back to A1, that counts. So pretty much what I have to do is I XLOOK up those two, I think. No, XLOOKUP doesn't work because I have to return 2, right? So that was stupid. So choose row set xmatch those two inside my starting, right? And if any of them equals z or minus minus, then we are there, and here's our 6. So that's how you can solve that bonus. And then starting from any cell and without using portals, what is the maximum number of moves required to return to a cell that has already been visited, blah, blah. I'm not using portals, so technically it's not level 7. Technically it's just level 4, I think. Yes, because I'm supposed to do that one. So I can just take this, go here, and only thing I match is, I start here, and I X-match here, and then I just go like that, and I can see 314 is, well, the maximum, and that's how you can solve the whole case. A really nice case. I think if you know Power Query from folder, it's easy to get the data inside. If not, you're probably lost because 400 files is way too much, but I would really recommend everyone to get at least a basic understanding of Power Query because a lot of things are just easier and more scalable than in normal Excel, especially for real work. I think Power Query is a really, really strong contender to be the best addition to Excel in a long time. So yeah, level 6 and 7 can get difficult if you don't have an idea, but technically it's also not really difficult. If you especially exclude stuff you already have, then it doesn't get too big and you get it there quite easy and quite efficient. So yeah, that's from my side. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Great case, Grayson.